Cheers and welcome to Bitter Reality Brewing. Yes, we're tasting the Bourbon Vanilla Rooibis Pale Lager. Drew, my son's here, taste test. And we already poured it, so we wouldn't have to, hold anybody up, should we say. If you haven't seen the first video, go check it out. I do have a little quick snippet of where I added the Rooibis and everything. I'm going to show you that to you here in just a quick second. But I added 1 tablespoon of vanilla, from what I remember, and I added enough Rooibis for a full gallon, but I only used 64 ounces of the wort after it had been fermented. And heated it up, did all this, put it back in, made sure it was purged. I know everybody's freaking out about this, but hey, if you've ever watched Barrel Brewing, I'm trying to remember his name, but the master brewer there, he's like, why add water? Use the beer you already have. That way you don't water your beer down. And it makes perfect sense. And if you do it right, you can avoid the O2. So it's all good. But this is it.
It's extra clear.
Extra clear. Super, super clear. And just before the taste test, I'm going to pan to the little video so you can see me do the tea. I'm going to be quick and you'll come right back. And before we get into the actual taste test, yes, this is what it looked like before I added the Rooibis and the vanilla. Yeah, amazing looking, pale, international lager. Tastes amazing, terrifies me I might ruin it. Almost want to step back and say, we're good, we'll just drink it. It's very, very nice. So if you've ever seen Dr. Hans, I do this so you don't have to. He says that all the time. And yeah, I would fully agree. I'm doing something that's either going to be the worst thing I could do possibly to this beer, a good thing, or an amazing thing. I like Rooibis, so for me, it's gonna be great. Drew, not so much. We'll see how he goes, but yeah. So how am I gonna do this without watering the beer down? Tim from Burial Brewing, Bromley, something like that, but Tim, very, very smart brewer, and if you've been to Burial Brewing, you know what I'm saying. You're like, wow, yeah, they got some good beer. So what he says is, if you need to add something, flavoring of some sort, why would you add water to your beer? And I agree. Sometimes a little bit's not a big deal if it's a strong flavoring. This is not. This is a tea that's got to be brewed in hot water. And I would need to add, yeah, let's just do it this way. Rooibis tea. It's an herbal tea. It's supposed to be healthy. It's out of South Africa. It is from the broom family. It's some sort of bush. But I need 2 grams of this per 8 ounces, which means I would need 80 grams for an entire 5-gallon. Yeah, you see where I'm going there? That's a lot of water. I mean, I would probably need about 1 gallon of water to really brew that even close to properly. So I'm gonna do something maybe even dumber. I'm gonna pull half a gallon of beer, 64 ounces or about 2 liters. And instead of going 80 grams, I'm gonna go 60 grams. I want the tea to be there. I don't want it to be subtle, but I also don't want it to overpower the beer. I want it to be nice, smooth, easy drinking, Rooibis Pale Lager, or Rooibis Tea Pale Lager with bourbon vanilla. It's got a mild vanilla smell already. So I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of Trader Joe's bourbon vanilla. I thought about a tablespoon. I can add more later if I really need to, but we're gonna stick to 60 grams, 2 teaspoons, and I'm gonna have to boil beer. You're right, finished beer. I'm gonna boil 64 ounces or 2 liters of finished beer in here, maybe a little less because this only fits about 2 liters. 60 grams or 2.11 ounces of Rooibis tea. Yeah, smell-o-vision we need. It just smells so good. Then I'm gonna cool it down. Then I'm gonna toss it into a keg, and then I'm gonna purge it about 3 different times, let it sit for a little while, purge, let it sit, purge, let it sit, purge, until I feel I've gotten all the oxygen out. I may add a little, if I can say it, I think it's absorbic acid, just to help kind of, scavenge some of the oxygen that could have gotten in there that may not have come right out. So we'll put a little bit of absorbic acid. I'm debating on gelatin. I might put a little bit. Actually, I probably will. And then we're gonna move the beer back on top of that keg with that tea, and we're gonna push the CO2 until we get it carbonated back to where it needs to be, and then we're gonna finish the taste test. Back to the taste test. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Now, our final gravity was 1.055. We were above our efficiencies, but I don't remember by how much. I don't think it was huge.
Okay.
and I think it was somewhere around 76%, so not a big deal. But this was brewed on the Anvil Foundry with the steam condenser, and we finished at 1.011, which is pretty dry, which is awesome. And it's all in range for an international pale lager. I chose a lager because I want the Rooibos to stand out. I wished I added more Rooibos, more liquid, more everything. I would have preferred a heavier Rooibos. He doesn't like Rooibos that much.
It's okay.
Yeah, so this is gonna be an interesting taste test, but we're at 5.8%, and it's a bourbon vanilla Rooibos pale lager. Go for it. I did over-carbonate it a little bit, but it'll be fine.
I don't smell a whole lot beyond it just being a lager.
The smell, I would agree. It's a lager.
That's
The
all you
taste
get
is
out
gonna be
of
very
it.
different. I hope, because I taste things.
It's weird.
Did I did say when I was brewing this, I'm brewing beers for me. Flavors that I really want to try.
It's strong, like Rooibos and some vanilla in there.
And I wanted the Rooibos even stronger, like twice as strong.
Yeah, it would not be for me. Not at all.
So if you've never had Rooibos, try it. It's a great tea.
If you like that tea, yeah, you'll like this.
Yeah,
But I don't. So.
If you like hot tea, because it's not, you can do it cold, but hot tea, it's not made from regular tea leaves. It's a different type of tea. It is supposed to be healthy for you. I don't drink it for health. I drink it because I like it. He doesn't like it, which is funny. We're a lot alike, but that's one area we differ.
Strange.
I think it's amazing.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Like it's cool. I was not for me.
I've had a few of these before it was finished carbonating, but now that it's carbonated, yeah.
I think I had it a little bit before it was carbonated too, and it was not as strong with those flavors at all.
No, you did have it before I added the vanilla and the Rooibos.
Ah, that's why.
Yeah, he had it as just an international pale lager,
Yeah.
and it was an amazing pale lager. I mean, could have just left it alone and drank it that way. But I promised a bourbon vanilla Rooibos pale lager, and that's what I made.
How could you get those flavors stronger? I mean, I guess there's more, but like.
Well, I used 64 ounces instead of 128 ounces of wort, so I got diminishing returns basically on the tea. Because the tea was, I had so much tea in a very small amount of liquid that I only got so much liquid, and I had a lot of tea left over with liquid that stayed in it that I couldn't just throw in there. So had I had more liquid, I would have had more dispersion.
brewed more of that.
Yeah, and I would have had more of the Rooibos. I was hoping to get a little faint redness. That's because Rooibos is known as a red tea. But yeah, right now, if I made it that strong, he'd be like,
Yeah, it'd be like no thanks.
you probably would smell it right off the bat, because the smell is, you don't even really notice anything.
I can still drink this. It's just not what I would choose to drink.
And at 5.8, it's a nice starter or even a good dinner beer. I mean, especially if you like hot teas and you like beer, you're set. Don't forget, like, subscribe, keep sharing. I appreciate the sharing, and cheers.
Cheers.